What is up, everybody? Hope y'all doing good. Welcome to an emergency, a reaction episode of Wrestling with Rumors as Raw has officially debuted on Monday Night Raw, and the time length of it was officially 3 hours and 3 minutes, and what a show from start to finish. I gotta start off by saying the cold open to that show, as it was doing like a brush of the history of WWE, as someone was painting uh all these different WWE superstars on a canvas. And I have to admit, watching it, I got very emotional. I got a little emotional watching it, it was not like sadness or anything. It was really this feeling of pride, of being proud to be a WWE fan for as long as I've been a WWE fan. As you know, I've been a fan of WWE since before it was called WWE. It's for me. It started back in 1987 when it was known as the World Wrestling Federation. Um, that's how far back I go with WWE. So it was very. There was times of being emotional with it because of pride, really, and to watch these errors of to be able to watch every error of Monday Night Raw from the beginning, with the first episode of WWE Raw on USA Network, and then when it left USA Network and went to, sorry about that, when it left USA Network and it went to TNN, which then became Spike TV, to then come back to the USA Network, and to go from a 2 hour show to a 3 hour show, and now here we are, 2025, and once again witness this new era in WWE, as it is now on Netflix, exclusively on Netflix. Raw is the longest episodic show in television history, and now it is that show that's on Netflix. And watching Raw on Netflix was historic. There was a feeling in the air of this show that it had this PLE mixed with a little Monday, with mixed of a Raw after Mania feel to it. And we have to realize that not every episode of Raw is gonna feel like this first episode felt. But with so much going into this first episode, they had to hit the ground running. They had to hit it hard, and they hit it hard, and they hit it fast, and from start to finish, everything about this episode of Raw told us we are in a new era, and it felt, sorry, my nose is crazy, and it felt amazing. And how amazing did it felt with all the chanting that was going on during Monday Night Raw, at times and moments where the crowd would chant. Normally we would be used to the crowd being muted, and they weren't muted. It was a great feeling to watch an episode of Raw and they weren't muted. And it was also great to watch an episode of Raw, and every once in a while you'd hear like a classic Raw theme song, Across the Nation was one of those theme songs. It was just great. So uh let's get into everything that was Monday Night Raw. At least we're gonna touch on some things that was Monday Night Raw. We're not gonna get into everything, but we're just gonna touch on some things. So first off, we gotta start with like I said, with the cold opening. Then after the cold opening, when it dropped, when this sheet dropped, Triple H was in the ring and hyping the crowd up, letting us know that we were ready. He knew the answer. We were all ready. And then we get The Rock. The Rock comes in, does what he does, the most electrifying man in all of sports entertainment. He's the final boss. He is in Samoan culture, the High Chief. Big deal. And then we go from The Rock to the first match of the night, which is one of two main event matches for this episode of Monday Night Raw. And it was Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa in Tribal Combat. And this match, I I wrote down what I was feeling during this match, so I'm just gonna read it to you. So I put Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu found their way into this match. Solo Sikoa with a spike to the ref, but then things evened itself out when Sami Zayn and Jimmy Uso came out and went after Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga. And then you got Roman Reigns, and then this is what happens. Roman Reigns, during the whole chaos, they're leaving. Roman Reigns has Solo Sikoa right where he wants him in the ring, and he's about to hit the spear. And then out from nowhere, Kevin Owens rolls himself into ring and hits Roman Reigns with a spear. And then you're like, we're all saying no. It was great. And then here comes Cody Rhodes. Like he said, if he sees Kevin Owens, he's gonna drop him on sight. That's what he did. Went right after him, got him out of the ring. It's back to Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns. They're back in the ring. Roman Reigns, when the smoke settles and the music is playing and the ref is announcing, it is Roman Reigns that wins Tribal Combat. The one and always Tribal Chief getting back what was taken from him, the Ulu Fala. Now, what was beautiful about this moment after Roman Reigns won and right before Paul Heyman can put the Ulu Fala back around Roman Reigns' neck, The Rock comes in and wants to be the one as a high chief to put this the Ulu Fala back on Roman Reigns' neck. And Rock as a high chief, there's a lot of pride that comes with that, with The Rock doing that for Roman Reigns, and something very personal and something with the family that I don't think a lot of us can really understand what really the meaning behind that was, but it was a really good moment to see. And then moving on, we have John Cena beginning his farewell tour on Monday Night Raw as promised. We're in it now. We are now in the John Cena farewell tour, and as it's kicking off, he's in the ring, and he makes it known that he is entering into the Royal Rumble for his opportunity to main event a WrestleMania and possibly break the record and become a 17-time world champion. I feel like it might happen. I feel like during John Cena's tour, I feel like it might happen, or we might come very close to it happening for John Cena to retire as a 17-time world champion, holding that record. I feel like it's possible. And then rumors and speculations about the Royal Rumble being in Saudi Arabia were officially announced by WWE themselves, as they showed during the commercials. They showed a commercial stating that in 2026 the Royal Rumble will be in Saudi Arabia. That was during a commercial for Raw. And then as we move forward through Monday Night Raw, the first championship match, the first WWE championship match on Netflix was the Women's World Heavyweight Championship match, Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. A fantastic match from start to finish. We get to the end of that match, and for the first time on Netflix, WWE, the title changes hands and goes back to Rhea Ripley, who never lost her World Women's Championship. And now it feels like we've reached this conclusion to what has been a hell of this rivalry between Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley that really went through almost all of pretty much all of 2024 to get to this conclusion in 2025 with Rhea Ripley back on top, Women's World Heavyweight Champion. And then backstage, Chad Gable running his mouth, saying what he says, and saying that he could take on any luchador. And before he came out, the video to show that Penta is coming. Then you show Chad Gable, and you have our GM says he knows just who the luchador to have a match with, and he says he's gonna make the call, and we all know who it's gonna be. It's gonna be Penta. Next week on Raw, he's going to make his debut next week on Raw in San Jose, California, against Chad Gable, and I'm excited. We are all excited to see it. It's incredible. And then January 27th, it looks like January 7th, 2 days after Saturday night's main event, on an episode on Monday Night Raw, Roman Reigns looks like the cover will be revealed as Roman Reigns on the cover, with a possible trailer to go with that as well. Now, I'm really touching on things here that were happening on Raw. A lot was happening on Raw, and I'm getting through all of it. I want to go ahead and say that we are now 102 days. We are in the 100-day mark until WrestleMania. Exciting, as we're getting close. The road to WrestleMania officially begins February 1st at the Royal Rumble. So I'm ready for it. Now let's get into the main event, which was Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. This was a match a long time coming, honestly. A lot of years in the making for this match. These are two warriors going to battle in a battlefield that we all call the Squared Circle. And we got to the end of that match, and the end of that battle, when the bell rang and the smoke settled, it was CM Punk, whose name was called as the winner, whose music was playing, and it took two GTSs that CM Punk gave to Seth Rollins to get the win for, I believe was the first time for CM Punk. He took his own finishing move. Seth Rollins hit CM Punk with a GTS, which was wow. Raw from start to finish was incredible. There's when I go back to the cold open, when I say that the cold open is a great reminder that there is nothing like WWE. Every promotion in professional wrestling is their own thing. AEW is its own thing. TNA is its own thing. New Japan Pro Wrestling is its own thing. Each promotion is its own thing. But when you think of WWE, there's really nothing like it. There's really nothing like it that makes you feel the way you feel when you watch it, from what you watch on Raw to SmackDown to NXT to all the PLEs, when it's a Royal Rumble, a SummerSlam, a WrestleMania. It really doesn't matter. There's really nothing like it, and there's no feeling you get. There's no feeling in the world that makes you feel like a kid than when you're watching WWE. And I love that feeling, and it's that one feeling I've had in me since I first started watching it as a kid in 1987, and then watching Raw when it first debuted in 1993. There's nothing like it. Before I end this, once again, next week on Monday Night Raw, Penta makes his debut in WWE on Monday Night Raw against Chad Gable. It's a great first match to kick him off. There's the Women's Intercontinental Championship match, where we have Dakota Kai versus Lyra Valkyria, whichever one wins, becomes the first women's Intercontinental Champion. History will be made again next week on Raw. And then we have Sheamus versus Kaiser next week. Ludwig Kaiser next week. And then we have a street fight next week against Damian Priest and Finn Balor. I'm hoping things kind of end with this. I'm thinking that this street fight will really bring an end to this rivalry, but never say never, never. And to go back to the Seth Rollins versus CM Punk match, if there's one thing that we can learn from CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, this match between Seth Rollins and CM Punk is not a one and done. There are a few more matches to come between these two. We haven't seen nothing yet between these two. And this is, I believe, with Seth Rollins losing this match, is the beginning of the heel turn for Seth Rollins. All right, I'm going to go. This has been an emergency recap episode to Wrestling with Rumors. Check out the latest episode of Wrestling with Rumors. It's available now on YouTube, on my AKT Publishing channel. And I will see y'all next week for a new episode of Wrestling with Rumors. I feel like I'm going to be doing a lot more of these this year. And I'm excited to do them. But until next time, in the meantime, in between time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you on the next one. Peace, y'all.